So, the first poem I'll do then is not by me. It's by a Dublin poet called Zosimus. And Zosimus was famous. He used to stand on street corners all around Dublin. He was a blind poet, and he'd recite his poems to the people walking by. And it's kind of a love poem, and since we're just after passing Valentine's Day, I thought I'd do that one. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, just making sure you're alive there. So this is called the Twang Man's Mott. Ah, come listen to my story. It's about a fine young man. When the militia were a wanton, he dealt in hawk and twang. Well, he went with a lovely maiden, as fair as any a midge, and she kept a treacle dep on one side of the Carlisle Bridge. Now this other one came courting her, and his name was Mickey Baggs. He was a commercial traveller who dealt in bones and rags. Well, he took her out to Sandymount to see the waters roll, and he stole the heart of the Twang Man's Mott, playing Billy in the Bell. Now when the Twang Man heard of this, he flew into a terrible rage, and he swore by the contents of his twang cart on him he'd have revenge. So he stood in wait be James's gate till the poor old Baggs came up, and with his twang knife, sure he took the life of the poor old gatherer up. Well, now yous have heard me story, and I hope yous will be good men, and don't go chasing a Twang Man's Mott or any other old hen. For she'll leave you without a brass farthing, not even an old sack of rags. And that's the end of me story of poor old Mickey Baggs. So, thank you very much. Okay, so that's kind of light and all that. I'm going to take you maybe down here for a moment, and then I'll do one more and I'll leave you up there. Is that okay? So this next poem is probably the most important, no, not probably, it is the most important thing I've ever written. And it's kind of strange. When I first left school, I never would have thought I'd be in this beautiful venue speaking to you this evening. When I first left school, I did engineering, and now I've gone back to college, and I never thought poetry would have meant something to me. But it's bizarre, it's actually a really essential part of my life now. And I wrote this poem, and what happened was, I didn't know how to give it to the person, and I believe poetry is an oral art form. My friend Enda helped me to record it, and I left it in the person's house, and I ran away, and it redefined my relationship with them. As it happens, I had a fight with this person 3 days ago, and I haven't spoken to him since. But I think we'll get over that. We'll get over that. So this is called The Gardener. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. She turned to me and said, "Do you think I'm happy?" And I heard a question that I didn't want to hear. I knew the answer. I've listened to the cry, but to face it, it made me uneasy. But I felt the bravery. I felt the realness in the moment, so I answered. You see, she's a gardener who has great plans, but works at what she's got. She loves creation, sees beauty and wants to share with you, understands the cruelty of nature, and yet it fills her with wonder. Have you tried her rhubarb? Fresh from Granny's garden. You should. Maybe there are prettier roses, but she'd rather be a cooking apple, or better yet, a gooseberry. Her hands are warm, the flesh loosened by age. She held my hand in church today for the first time in too long. Her eyes are still young, still life to be lived. This, Joe Bangles, is not condemned when there is breath left. Still seeking that happiness. God love her. People before profit, she says. A modern day Guevara or Connolly as a nation nets her down, working 34 years in a job, draining away her very essence for what? To feed me. Educate me. Clothe me. But not stopping there. I remember she took me to Mrs. Prendergast near Butlins when we couldn't afford to go to Butlins. Caravanning in Roundwood with the takeaway Chinese, the Isle of Man, the cinema, jazz after church every Sunday as we did today. 28 years on. Taught me to notice the sunset. Her bondage. A sick child and a broken marriage. All this, and I don't know how to speak to her. I always want to hug her. And I don't know how. So a veiled kiss lace with courtesy will do. She's been learning how to stop living inside her own head. Gets up, goes out, half the battle. No panic attacks for a while, still manic but calmer now, still pretending, still xenophobic, homophobic, not meaning to be. Lost marbles down gutters like dreams. The anger, it's fresher though. Built up over years of false dawns and mistrust, reduced expectations, frustrations, once contentment, now quiet. Yes, quiet. Peace. Or perhaps bird song. In her garden, where she will grow apples, pears, spuds, raspberries, strawberries and gooseberries. Watch them bloom again and return to the soil, but not before she has lived a life deserving. My mother told me today, she pretends to be happy. What do you say to that? Let's watch her flower now, I say, and bring her some water. So that's that one. I know maybe that was like there. Okay, we'll do something short and sweet, and then we'll get on to getting to listen to these lovely people. So this one is just, I mentioned the sunset, and I wrote this poem that my mother particularly likes as well. She did help me to know it's a sunset. It's called On the Bus. I was getting the bus home to Tala one day when I used to live with my mammy, and I saw the sunset, and I'm a poet, so I'm meant to write these stupid things, and I was bursting out of the toilet, and I didn't have a pen and paper, and I ran into the house and I actually wrote this poem on the toilet. And people say that men can't multitask. I beg to differ. Some people say my poetry is shit. It's osmosis, you know. But anyway, this is just a little kind of happy one to leave you on, and then we'll get on to you guys. So, everybody happy so far?
Yeah.
Cool, good stuff. Okay, so because of this. I was on the bus, and this sunset, it screamed at me, reminded me of life. How are you, Eddie? sorry, Eddie. Reminded me of life, reminded me to shine, and I wanted to tell someone to look at it and to gaze at it with me, but I paused, and the view it passed, confiscated by concrete and stole by gravity. So I found a friend on a 50-50 chance they shall see my end, that I shall send my friend the picture of it verbally. It was like a neon sign, I says. Nah, that's shit. It was like someone had got out of flamencos and pureed them in concrete clouds, dark and dull, had puked, poked, cuts glaze on the runner sides and drips that drops the into my eyes, so speaking no lies. But the centre, the core, it was like fire. Ah yeah, okay. I know that the sun is fire, but it was really like fire that was friendly and kind to touch. And that sunset sure touched me. So let it touch you and accept love, and accept that things that were intended to be given, like beauty, or heart, or life, but accept love.